I recently started playing ASKA, and it surprised me in the best way possible. In this video, I'll explain why, but if you're interested in ASKA, it's currently on sale with 40% off. There's a link for that in the description. Now, what I thought was just another Viking survival game turned out to be so much more. Survival is a big part of the game, and it's an engaging challenge. However, recruiting and managing other Vikings to build a settlement with turned out to be an even bigger challenge, and I had so much fun doing it. I've enjoyed the exploring, building, and combat, but now it actually just got better. The new ASKA update just came out, and they have added sailing expeditions, NPC settlements, new biomes, and an OP new villager. Thank you to ASKA for sponsoring this video, and let me show you everything I've loved about this game, and also let me know what you love about ASKA down in the comments. When I started a new world, I had no idea what to do, and the challenge of figuring that out and trying to survive I found really engaging. Then, just when I thought I was starting to figure things out, I died. This reminded me of how much there was to learn about the game, and it actually shifted my focus to starting to get help from villagers. I really love the sense of emerging from the wilderness into creating something bigger. The visuals and overall feel of the world really resonated with me, where you're not just gathering sticks and stones, but you're actually starting to think about leading a tribe. And that shift in mindset from how do I keep myself alive to how do I keep a tribe alive and also start progressing that settlement made a big difference for me. I love the way I could just jump into the village creation very early on into the game. I didn't have to grind out for hours to experience what ASKA is all about. I could start a settlement pretty much straight away, albeit a very modest one of course. And that is the core of ASKA, which is building and managing your village. There's a balance to having to work hard gathering resources and staying alive, whilst expanding your settlement and satisfying the needs of your Vikings. I found the desire to automate resources was a strong early driver for me. Having wood, stone, and food taken care of by my NPC Vikings meant that I had more time to build and further expand my village. I really liked this because it felt like there was always quite a lot to do and also a purpose to each building and a reason why we were doing everything we were doing in the game along the way. Then, after playing for a while, you can physically see how much your settlement has expanded, which is a nice reward for your hard work. There were several areas of this that I particularly enjoyed, starting with choosing who does what in my village, giving us the sense of autonomy and freedom. Then it's kind of fun to watch their little routines of the villagers. They're running around and they're gathering or they're resting or they're building, whatever it is, and often they actually need things as well, so you have to kind of keep an eye on them and help them out along the way. And although they're NPCs, it did feel like a really collaborative experience making this settlement with them, so I actually really enjoyed that. And then the more management or organizational stuff of designing the settlement layouts for your resource flow, where are you going to put your housing, where do you need defense and things like that. That was a nice challenge of organization as well. So there's these different facets of the game which bring challenges in their own unique ways. And all of this gives you a lot of freedom to create the exact Viking settlement that you want. And then you reach a stage of the game where your settlement is making progress and your Vikings are somewhat happy. So what now? Well, this is when I decided to have a wander, do some exploring, and this opened up a whole new set of wonderful experiences. Firstly, I was fortunate to stumble upon a cave. Now these are rare, but they are quite fun to explore, and they also give you some better materials for your settlement, so it's like a progress point in the game. However, with the new update that has just come out, exploration just got like 100 times better. So there's a new building now called the Harbour, and when you build that, you can take your Vikings on ships to explore entirely new regions. Now this is no easy task. First, you have to stock your ship correctly with essential items like food and water and weapons and things like that. But then you have to navigate these treacherous seas, and there are some very dangerous creatures awaiting you in the ocean, so you kind of need to be very prepared for that. Now, it takes time to learn how to navigate because you actually have to use the wind and kind of figure that out, but the cool thing is if you'd rather not do that, you can actually get one of your villagers to do that for you. Battling these stormy oceans puts yourself and your Vikings in quite perilous situations. However, if you're successful, then you will reap some significant rewards. You start by landing on an island, and then you actually establish yourself a raiding camp. Now this is pretty cool in and of itself. So from here, you and your villagers can set to work on navigating the new biomes that have been added to the game. So there's new deserts and new marshlands, and you can explore these and get some rewards for doing so. You will encounter significant challenges along the way, of course, and none come more difficult than the new NPC Vikings from the Dragonfolk tribe. So they have their own settlements and camps, which you can actually try to raid. So this really brought the world to life, and I really love that they've added this in. You have to be warned though, because they are quite a formidable opponent. And if that wasn't enough, there may just be an even greater enemy waiting for you when you least suspect it. It's safe to say that you should definitely not enter the desert without your best gear. However, for those strong enough to slay this beast, there is a pretty huge reward, which is the brand new type of villager released in this update, the Golem. So these golems, they never feel hunger and they work tirelessly. so they're a great addition to any settlement. It should be said that they're not immortal, so you will have to keep venturing back out, doing more raids and things in order to get new ones over time. And so what I thought was just a kind of Viking survival game where you build up a bit of a village is actually so much more than that, and I'm really glad I stumbled on this game and delved deeper into it, especially with the new update which has just come out. I think that's got some really exciting things in it, and I'm looking forward to experiencing a lot more of them in the future as well. And so all of that is why I say that ASKA is actually so much better than I ever realized. The settlement building, the villagers, the survival challenge, the immersion, and basically the stories it lets you create as you play through the game. So if you like survival or city builder games, I would say this is a good game to check out as it combines the best of both. And if you like the Viking builder vibes, I strongly recommend giving ASKA a look right now while it is 40% off. A link to that is in the description, and as always, thank you so much for watching.